Love Them Knives channel, LTK here. Bestech Ornetta. Hey, welcome back. Bestech Ornetta. Ornetta. Interesting knife. Came out just recently. Backspacer titanium, pocket clip titanium, kind of that blackwash look. And I'm failing the ano, aren't I? Yeah, you can kind of see where I've handled it on here. This one's a blue one. Got kind of a blackwash on the flats of the blade. If you get the green one, there is no blackwash on the flats. So if you don't like any part of your blade being black, you could get the green one or probably just the regular silver one. I'd have to look again to see. It's a titanium frame lock flipper from Bestech. And you know, to my knowledge, I'm trying to think, but I don't know of any of the others that have been done in M390 like this one. And of course, by the way, this is a Polish knife designer that did this design. Grabarski, and also known as Combo on Instagram. And yeah, he's done a CRK custom knife factory knife called the Braga CKF knife. This was printed off this from Russia with knives. In any case, yeah, that's his design as well. So it's not his first rodeo, is it? By the way, you can get this on White Mountain Knives. And here's part of the information on this knife. 8.375, 3.625 blade length. And I think the full rundown here, if you want to see. So it's, you know, about the same size as a paramilitary 2. 4.49 ounces, pretty light considering that it's titanium with M390 here. And usually the blade stock is fairly thick on the Bestechs, and it is about a 3.8, 3.75, and 0.147. So let's see what we got for, let me grab my calipers here, because this is a nice contoured titanium handle. 0.57 of an inch, 14.6 millimeters. Yeah, where are you, Rex? Get out here, buddy. About the same size as the Para 2. Just maybe a skosh longer blade, but it's hard to tell with the eyeball. Really is. So let's put a tape to it and see what we got. Big fat tape to it. It covers the whole blade. Okay, 3.5, and that's to the closest part of the bolster. So down here, almost 3 5/8, 90 millimeter blade length, and 8 3/8. So just a hair longer than the paramilitary 2, and 21, but not quite 21.5 centimeters long. M390, love that. Really like this design. Look how this flows. That's nice. That's really nice. That blade just disappears right in here. Looks like they've made pretty efficient use of blade to handle ratio here. And maybe it could have rolled out a little bit longer, but I'd call it good. Centered up. I don't have any blade play or lock rock on this knife, and I know people are concerned about that. You start getting into these knives that are in this price range around the $250. Now you should be good. You should be good. You've got this little cutaway that kind of rolls into a fuller here on the blade on both sides, if you'll notice that. But it's a nice design cue here on this, and a nice big front choil for sharpening and going forward on this. And I know some people feel these choils, when they get this size, really detract or take away from the full cutting edge potential of a knife. But I think we're good here. I think we're good here. Let me see if this thing will be a knife. Okay, whoever sharpened this one did a pretty good job. This one's pretty sharp right there. I mean, I'm do this all the time, right? Hundreds of knives. But yeah, this one is really sharp. Nice satin flat grind on this. Should be good piercing and slicing and good looking in between. All kinds of good looking in between. Backspacer gives it kind of a nice finished look here with some little kind of jimping stuff back here. Nothing that's really gonna promote a lot of traction, but adds to the style points. And of course, a nice lanyard hole that is incorporated in the backspacer back here. Pocket clip looks nicely done and also does not detract from the overall design of the knife and seems to flow with the curve of the handle. Little cutaways up here, machining all along here, and you can see these real fine lines going all the way through the body of the scales. Pivot is blacked out, and in the Bestechs I've taken it apart, they've had a D-shaped pivot, so you don't need any kind of torques accessible here to stabilize it in case it turns, because it's D-shaped. So this ought to handle it. It's probably a number 8 torques. And I don't know the size of these screws here. And let me see. I've got a little number 8 bit here. I can try and see what fits in here. No, I think that's number 6. And that's number 6. That's a number 8. So those are obviously number 6 size body screws on there. The action's great because it goes past the detent ball. By the time the flipper tab hits your thumb, it's past there, which is good because then it lets you just give it the drop. And I haven't toyed with this pivot at all since I got it, so this is the way it is out of the box. Okay, which is pretty good action, maybe a little tight. And I guess, you know, I always meddle with them, and a lot of you guys do too. So yeah, you could disassemble it, wipe it down, put your choice of pivot lube on there, reassemble, and make this to your liking, to the kind of drop that you want, and make sure you still have it centered. But you know, you can vary that a little bit and it'll make a lot of difference in the way that happens. Here's your model number. Ornetta on the other side. Comes in a zipper pouch. Bestech knives. Nice little zipper pouch. Got all kinds of microfiber cloth and paperwork, all that kind of stuff, warranty, etc. So, hey, that works for me. And, you know, let's say $250 on White Mountain, and then, you know, $25 with your 10% discount. So, what, $2.25? Really, with M390 and as nice a knife as this, and this guy, you know, has done CKF, I'd say that this is a designer that you might want to get one of his pieces at a reasonably good price with great high-end materials. And this is going to get materials looked at, because this is going in for testing to our Pennsylvania tester. So we're going to just test the M390 and the titanium, because I don't think I've ever done Bestech. Well, we're going to check the D2. Kurt has done the D2 before, never documented it, but it did come out as D2, and then the HRCs he can't really remember. So we're going to send in like a Hornet and a Paladin for testing. I've already got them packed away, ready to go in. And then this Ornetta will be going in for the titanium and the M390, and we'll see the HRC on that as well. It's just fun to play with it, right? Yeah, it is. The front flipper here is way up front, right up front here. It's not like set back or anything. Here's a cutaway here for kind of your landing zone. When you flip the knife, you end up right in here. It's very comfortable in that respect. Jimping on the top of the blade. The ergos are really good. And then going forward, good as well. Reverse grip, really nice. I mean, it feels good in the hand. And it's wide enough this way with these contoured titanium scales to fill your hand a bit. Because it's not a real tall scales, but they're contoured and fat enough to give you some feeling like you've got a hold of it. I just think, first of all, it's a great looking design. If you get the silver one, or even this, you can have it washed and re-anno it and pimp it however you want to do if you want. But it's just really a well done knife. It feels good in the hand. The action is really good on this knife. Feels solid. The materials are top rate, and we will test them, and I'll get back to you on that. But I would not worry about it. So far, what we've tested has tested out good. Let's get a weight on it. Ounces, like they said, and it's 4.42 ounces, 125 grams. You know, that's pretty light for a solid titanium frame lock flipper. Yeah, I had a couple of viewers ask me about the Ornetta and if I was going to get it in hand and what I thought of it. I like it a lot. I think it's one of the best okay, what are we doing? One of the nicest Bestech knives that they've made in titanium. You know, the Starfighter I liked and the Predator I liked really well. They're great too. But this, I think this is just a progression here. And this is a nice progression. I think this is a little bit nicer done. Maybe a more refined design. Something like that. As far as I'm concerned, it's light enough. Feels good in the hand. Top right materials. It's just really hard to not like this knife. Absolutely. And, you know, one of the other knives that has come out recently is the Shinkansen. And, you know, it's a front flipper, but really, this is a pretty design too. I really like this design and real sensible. I mean, obviously your contact patch because you don't have a flipper tab here. And blade design, incredibly good. Just a really solid frame lock flipper. And I'm not a huge guy on the front flippers, but this one flips fine. I mean, it's not my preference, but really when it's open, it really flows. And even when it's shut, it's nice. And it's not that difficult to actuate. So I'm really warming up to this too. These two have really got my attention lately. And of course the Reticulin, as far as a keychain knife, and I don't have it in front of me, but that's a Elijah Isham design. That is really cool because it's not a teeny keychain knife. It's kind of a 1.5 keychain knife, bigger than the Reich Hummingbird, but a really nice, interesting knife. You ought to look at if you like the Isham designs. Pretty crazy thing. When I was at the SHOT Show 2018, I talked to Solina there at Bestech and her husband, who's also the lead designer and QC guy at Bestech. They flew in from China, and I told her, because I had run into Elijah and, you know, texted him back and forth. I said, you ought to talk to him. He's a going thing, you know, and maybe do a collaborative. So the reticulin shows up like 10 months later. Amazing, huh? Not that I had anything to do with it, but I did recommend him to them. In any case, how about that? Whew. Like them Polish knife designers, right? Yeah. How about Poltergeist Works? Yeah. All right. I'm going to cut you loose. Thank you so much. Finian and Flanagan are two talisman, one from Patty Potato Peeler and one from Mr. Rigsby are Iraqi. I mean, he got stuck over there in Camp Taji for a long time. He's back stateside with his family, but he sent that to me. So just to remind you, good luck charms might just bring you good luck. In any case, thank you so much. You know what we do around here. We love them knives. So you guys stay sharp.